When man loses its attachment to conformation of physicality, um, we find there is more in the world of the universe. Free plasmas, interaction of the plasmas. In a simple way, John has showed us today, he could feel wind. And I said weeks ago, follow the wind. Now he feels heat. Now, in time comes, we'll see the shimmers, the light, we'll see the physicality. But these are all made of the interaction of the field. And if we expand the knowledge, we'll see the interaction of fields. You see the work of the universe. You see that new dimensions can be given. New understanding is needed. So, would you like to live in a deserted island with no ships around and watch and wait and see somebody comes? That's what we've done as human race on this planet. Would you like to get stranded walking from one island to another? Make a colony and make a new generation, and people will forget how you arrived there because you forgot the technology of the space technology, and then they have to go through the evolution of thousands and millions of years that they might find that path if they survive the interaction of the fields of the universe, and then they might take into space, and then the whole cycle starts. Or you want to be again as part of the what I call the sails of the universe, on the ships of the space of the universe. It's called spaceship, means finds the spaces. It's a ship which works within the spaces of the universe, not on the lands of the universe. This is the space we have, the whole 97% of the universe. Then we have to understand, now that we become the sailors of the universe in the spaceship, same as the earth, the direction of the current flows of the seas, the rivers inside, the interaction of the salt water and the sweet water, the interaction of the hot and cold. It's the same in the universe. There's no difference. But this time you have a stronger fields than the weaker fields. You have fields, the rivers which move against each other. You have dams and reservoirs that the fields just gather and do nothing. And you can sit there. It's like sailing on an ocean. You'll find the turbulences in the interaction of the fields due to rapid expansion of one galaxy or collapse of another. How do you stand the storms of a hurricane in the high seas? Now, the whole thing is, you have to be able to make a ship in a higher level. You have to be able to make a ship that it can stand all the turbulences of the universe. So it means you can't attach yourself to physicality. You have to be able to understand how to sail this matter physical structure which you created out of the field of the universe. You call it the spaceship, to be able to sail the winds of the universe. Now you see, nothing has changed. The problem has got bigger. Man was happy to move from the leg into the back of a donkey he was carrying in, and then he was happy to find an engine and find a car. He was happy to find a jet, and then now he's happy to find a spaceship. But you're back on the same track. You become become a sailor in the wind of the universe, in the oceans of the fields of the universe. The only difference with this is that now you're all submerged inside the universe. We are submariners of the universe. Because this universe, as I explained, with the fields and the face of the earth and the face of the man, has a central plasma as a face. Who lives above it? Who lives on the surface of this universe? How would we become when we find our way to the surface of this universe? Remember one principle in the world of creation. What is in macro is in micro, and vice versa. Now you understand, when you speak about those who live within the planet Earth, we are ourselves within the structure of the universe. We haven't seen the surface of this universe yet. No one has ever spoken about this up to this point. But as a messengers or universal messengers, we have to open your eyes to it. Because sooner or later, some of you will break through and you come to a dimension which you have never thought existed. But it's the reality. That's why I brought the dimension of the surface of the atom, surface of the earth, and the surface of the solar system and your reactors. We are submariners of this universe. We have never been taught, we have never been guided. How do we interact when we enter to the surface of this universe? If it takes you 40 hours or 24 hours to go around the surface of this planet, can you imagine the time it would take you to go around the belt of this universe? Not as the fish, but as the man of the universe. This is the reality that some of you who take into space will come to face to, because in reality, you get caught in the volcanic eruptions of this planet, this universe, and you'll pop out. Or through the dimension of interaction, traveling to another universe, by mistake, you'll come to a dimension, a new dimension. It has the same structures, this universe, has the same structures, this planet. Valleys, mountains, oceans of its own matter. And now that we have brought you to this point, man has to understand the travelers of the universe does not finish within this universe. We are in the shell, we are in the structure of a universe which has a surface, as has the earth. When we spoke about the black hole in the center, which is the soul of this universe, it's the same as the soul of the man. You have the brain of the man and the transition of the points from A to B, and then you have the face of the man, you have the face of the planet. Now man has to accept that this universe has a face of its own in the dimension of the body. Some of you in this process will end up there, or your future generations. We live on this land, we've been on this land, we know the dimensions. You are those who live within the magma of this universe. It has a face, it has a dimension. It's one of the reasons why man cannot see beyond it, because it has a solidification of his own state of matter in positions. Now, this might have shocked the humanity, but that's the truth that you have to face. Now that the doors of the universe are opening to man. Not many in this universe, through all the spaceships you've seen, have managed to break through. But from what we see, what we understand with the intellect of the man, there is a possibility man might break through this in a coming time. So we guide. You will not see humans with 2 legs and 2 arms and the rest. It has its own structural creature because this universe itself is part of the unicos, and it has the same as what we see here. Stars and galaxies, and this universe is another star and part of the unicos. There are those who are above, the same as man is above on this planet. If by accident John or any of you who start these testings tunes to the gravitational field above, or by accident create a dimension you will go through, then man will come to a new dimension. As I said, this has happened to other races. Is not, man will not be the first one who will pop up. Would you become a diamond in the volcanic eruption, or would you go through a transfer of the heat, or in another shape or form through the barriers into the surface of the new dimension? It's a vast ocean which man has to learn how to live in and how to survive. But at the same time, when you land, when you arrive, if the time and man progress carries on without that of his own weakness, man can travel into the other universes the way we start going from one planet. So now that the man-child has grown, man-child has to understand. The evolution of the man has started, and this is the beginning. You have broken through the line of knowledge.